Well, guys, I am back, and it wouldn't be Stadia news without some controversy with games. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the Assassin's Creed stuff and Ubisoft and what's going on there. Plus, we have October games for Pro have been announced, and we'll take a close look at those. Also, we'll just take a look at the games announced the past few weeks and break those down. We'll also look at 1440p for Stadia, game sales, and of course, we'll take a look at some brand new stuff, plus the new Logitech devices. Just, guys, you guys are going to want to stick around for my thoughts on that. Check the timestamps for the news that you guys want to hear. All right, let's start this off with all the game news all around the horn, starting with October's Pro games for Stadia. And I need to start this off with Arcade Paradise because I've legit never heard of this game up until now. And boy, where the heck have I been, especially since my job is to cover titles. This looks fantastic. Arcade Paradise is all about running your own 90s arcade in the back of a laundromat that your dad owns. Only you're kind of being sneaky by running this in that back room and purchasing at least 35 different arcades that you can set up. The game does have a story. Within this story, you're going to be doing sim type of features like buying, purchasing, running this laundromat at the same time. Even things like cleaning out the toilet, there's like a little mini game for that. You'll be making money to buy the best arcade games to put in your hidden 90s gamer paradise. And of course, you can play some of these mini games that you buy as well. You can even set the high scores. And I mean, the game also has a fantastic 90s inspired soundtrack where you set up a jukebox in your store and play the music you want. I can't rave enough about this type of game so far. It just looks good. I haven't played it yet, but it did just launch about a month ago, and it's already seeing hundreds of positive user reviews, and for a good reason. It just looks fantastic. Our next game here is Slaycation, a game that I've talked about a lot recently. It launched not too long ago. This is the top-down twin-stick shooter. It's just full of mayhem, and it's really an awesome get for Stadia Pro. The third game on the list is Drawful 2 from Jackbox Games. Here you draw funny and terrible little drawings. Then you have other people guess what the drawing's about. Then they vote on it, and you pretty much get the best answer out of it. The game looks like a really fun party game that anyone can join in on. It does have that local multiplayer, but also can be enjoyed over live streams, or even remote players can jump in and play. Our fourth game on this list is Tangled Tower, and here you explore a strange and dark mansion, discovering clues and interrogating suspects while solving puzzles. The game does feature a fully voiced cast of characters, some pretty nice visuals, and of course plenty of puzzles to solve, which sadly puts me out of luck on enjoying this one. I hate puzzle games, as you guys know, but even though this isn't my thing, it does look like a high quality indie title without a doubt. Launching all the way back in 2019, since it has over 2,000 overwhelmingly positive user reviews, and I love seeing a game like this on Stadia, especially for those who just really enjoy good puzzle titles. And then finally we have Looking for Aliens. This is a hidden object game where you play as Sean, who's struggling to find the existence of aliens and looking for ways to prove it. The goal here, of course, is to search and find those aliens hidden and scattered throughout. Now I have to say that is 5 games in total, not already in the library previously, so that means we'll be claiming completely new games on Stadia Pro, which is a nice change because every month there's been at least one game that I've personally owned already. And while I never mind others enjoying a game I've already purchased, it is kind of nice to see that every single game on this list is something I don't already own, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of you as well. Hopefully this does become a bigger trend going forward. And with that, guys, I wanted to address the latest Ubisoft event that happened about over a week ago now. I know this news is a little bit late, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but the big thing is that we did get game announcements like I expected. Just Dance 2023 has been confirmed for Stadia and will come next year. They talked about The Division Heartland. This is going to be a free-to-play game. It mentioned that it will arrive on cloud platforms, so I am hoping that equals Stadia, and I will be surprised if we don't see it. Now, as far as what the game itself will be about, it has a 45-player Storms Operation mode. I think this acts like a battle royale. Another is called Excursions Operations, which I think might be the PvE mode where you collect gear, and then more than likely you're using that gear for the PvP portion of the game. Still a little unclear, at least for me, but it looks promising overall. Obviously, Skull and Bones is still slated to head to Stadia. As I've said before, I'm not hugely excited for this one anymore. I was, but man, so far the gameplay has turned me off a little bit. But the game is available right now for pre-order on the Stadia store at $69.99, which, oof guys, $10 more than the usual $59.99. I guess that's the price of next gen, I suppose. Do expect full coverage of this game on the channel, which is when it launches in November, to see if you guys should be plopping your own money. The surprise game announced though for Stadia is actually Trackmania. This is going to be a new free-to-play racer that's supposedly going to have cross-play and cross-progression, so I'm very much looking forward to this. It's set for early 2023. Also guys, Ubisoft Plus is available free right now until October 20th, so as I've said, guys, there's still a month away here for you guys to enjoy it. Even if you've had Ubisoft Plus before, you can still claim this. So make sure you guys head on over to the Ubisoft Plus website and grab some free gaming from Ubisoft themselves for pretty much still a month to go. And finally, guys, let's go ahead and hit the elephant in the room. Ubisoft's newest Assassin's Creed Mirage was announced for most platforms, including even Amazon Luna, but no Stadia. Now confirmed via a Twitter post by Ubisoft support, at the moment Mirage is not planned to release for Stadia, but if that changes, they'll go ahead and post about it and let us know. Now the elephant being that Ubisoft has always supported Stadia with their games, even day and date releases, but we've now started to see the cracks in the armor with this pretty much partnership over the past few years. For Honor supposedly has been getting Stadia listings during conference calls, but they've walked that back twice now in a row. Roller Champions has also seen a delay, though that hasn't been exclusive delays to Stadia. Amazon Luna has also been delayed as well. But overall, it could seem, guys, that support is starting to not be as steady as it once was. So what's going on with Stadia not getting Assassin's Creed Mirage? Well, my guess, sadly, is going to be as good as yours, but no matter how you guys slice it, it's not really the greatest look. Stadia so far, I feel I have to say this, that in 2023, it's really been their weakest lineup of games since the launch year. Now, a noticeable lack of double and AAA games has been pretty apparent, but that hasn't necessarily been exclusive to Stadia. Luna and GeForce Now haven't had a bunch of big games themselves this year. Even xCloud and Xbox haven't seen a ton of AAA games overall themselves as a whole. That's really been a product, guys, in my opinion, of the pandemic finally catching up to gaming this year in 2023 and all the delays that we've seen left and right. But that still doesn't really answer the question of what's going on with Stadia and Ubisoft. Now, some people have said Amazon Luna is getting exclusive rights here, and to me, guys, that makes no sense really. First off, Luna is only in one country currently, so buying exclusive rights here would be for a very small contingent and not really worth the money if you ask me. Second, cloud gaming as a whole, guys, really just isn't big enough for this exclusive battle just yet. I don't really care what GeForce Now says about 20 million. That is not 20 million people using GeForce Now as their main way of gaming. Really, that's millions of people using the free tier to play games like Fortnite and other free games. Trust me, guys, there's metrics out there that point to this fact. I've looked them up even for my own research purposes. Now, theoretically, if Luna is about to launch to more countries and they want to make a splash before Mirage releases next year, maybe they could have bought exclusivity as a tipping the hat for the service and a worldwide launch for Amazon Luna, but I just don't see it. Overall, it just seems like support just isn't as steady as it once was. And that really could simply be just a byproduct of cost cutting across industries right now. And while Stadia has been doing a better job with the porting tools and getting games out quicker, it's not really a quite one-for-one Windows port like an Amazon Luna game. And really, that simply could just be what's going on here. And if it is, I really would implore Google themselves to do what they can to get a game like this on here, as there really is a minimum set of expectations for Stadia users and Ubisoft games, and that really has been the bar so far. I mean, think about it. There's games on Stadia, not on other services like the past EA games or even some 2K games, but Stadia didn't buy really exclusivity. They simply ponied up for the port on Stadia, which ended up resulting in Stadia being the only ones to carry that game. So guys, really my final thoughts on all this is we're somewhat jumping the gun. While we can point to games that look like they were coming to Stadia, Dying Light 2 is an example, showing up on their website with a logo earlier this year, then it got quickly taken down, never to be heard of again. We actually have examples of games that were not supposedly supposed to come, but ended up doing so anyways, despite references of hysteria that a certain game may not come to Stadia, like the latest Saints Row release. We had those moments where people assumed it wasn't coming to Stadia. So let's just continue to wait and see. But either way, guys, let me know what you guys think on all this in the comments below. All right, and let's continue with the game news, guys. We did see the launch of 4 new titles with Gravatar Recharge, which I've talked about this game before. Black Widow Recharge, which looks like a fantastic title in its own right. Asteroids Recharge, the classic game reimagined, and then finally Breakout Recharge, which I didn't know this game was also remade from Atari as well. And guys, if you're now into these classic arcade titles, pretty much all these games are available in the Stadia store at $9.99. All of them do have demos though, so you don't need to buy them first. You can try them out before even doing that and then decide if you want to buy them, which is excellent stuff from Stadia and Atari. So love seeing that. And finally, on the games front, we have the game Martha is Dead. This is a game that I've wanted to see drop on Stadia. It released earlier this year. It's a first-person psychological thriller. It's set in 1944, where you try to find the truth of what happened to your twin twin sister Martha. Now, it's a pretty heavy narrative-based game. It actually takes place during World War II, so there's some interesting set of moments where you can actually listen on the radio to hear what's happening during the war. The game tries really hard to be historically accurate, which a lot of people claim it's very well done in that sense, but essentially you'll be running around trying to find out what happened to Martha. So it is heavy story based, like I said, and the game absolutely has its creepy moments as well. I know there's this little moment where you're playing with dolls, there's these tarot cards, and nah man, I mean, I'm telling you, these games are too scary for me. They'll make me pee my pants, but it looks like it's a good one. I've been wanting to see this one hit Stadia, especially since it's gotten good reviews since it came out earlier this year. It's got a decent Metacritic score of 73, and it says it's releasing winter of 2022 on Stadia, so I'm glad they cleared the winter part because it could have been early March 2023 as far as we know. So good thing is we'll see it soon. And then finally, the publisher Clubator says they have joined Stadia to publish games. Now, I'm not familiar with them too much. On their own website, it says that they helped create the game Weedcraft. I played that one myself. It wasn't that fun running a weed business. I got bored pretty quick, and I was just interested because it was weed, even though I've never done weed myself. They do have the game Moonshine, though, launching. This is a management game about running a moonshine empire. So to me, this looks really promising. I really like that time period, and this one looks like a game that I would really enjoy. So I hope we see this one on Stadia, but always good to see more publishers joining the platform. Finally, guys, we're going to rapid fire some of the Stadia news about the platform and features and stuff like that. We have 1440p option, which is awesome. Sadly, though, this is still restricted to Stadia Pro users. I'd love to see a campaign. Maybe this can start here with this video to implore Google to let people who buy games on Stadia, regardless of Pro, have the ability to play what they purchased and use these 1440p options or even 4K, and doing it without having to have this subscription tied to it. So I love that there is a 1440p option now across the board, but let's see this be across the spectrum for purchase games as well. I think that would be a good thing to see overall and just a good sign. Either way, though, we do have something new here now with the Explore page. You can now do this thing where you can react with emojis, which is really neat. Then we have some more game trials that were announced. The newest ones are an excellent batch here. We have Hitman getting 3 freaking hours of free trial time, which I think is amazing. We are really getting closer to almost every game on Stadia having a trial. And check out this super cool graphic by Inled, and check out his Twitter. He always has these awesome information graphs. 129 hours of free playtime with the game trials on Stadia is available for people just to try out a bunch of stuff. So I think this is really cool. Today we also got some news on the new Google Chromecast, the one cheaper that I was talking about in a previous video. It's coming in at 30 bucks, so it is cheaper than that 4K version. That's about $20 more. This thing is essentially the same thing, but instead of that 4K, it has a 1080p HDR option, and it does come with its own remote control. So if you guys don't care about 4K gaming on Stadia, you now have this nice cheaper option. And with that, guys, we do have our game sales. Keep in mind, these only have some days left to go at the time of me launching this video, but there's some good ones here that I don't want you to miss. Assassin's Creed Black Flag comes in at $9, one of the better titles in the franchise, and all the Assassin's Creed games are actually on sale for the lowest they've been, so check them out. The game sale of the day, though, is going to be handed to Cyberpunk 2077, 50% off. This is the cheapest it's been on sale, and the newest expansion coming out in 2023. You guys do not want to miss this title. The game has picked up massive amounts of new players since the announcement, and people just coming back to try the game. The game is just so much more polished now, and it's still my favorite Stadia game, period. Check out Cyberpunk 2077. All the Doom titles are on sale at the lowest they've been. Doom Eternal does have that 4K 60 FPS option, so don't hesitate on these titles. All the Far Cry games are also on sale. I will recommend the latest Far Cry 6 at $23.99. I do think it's worth it, but keep in mind 30 FPS. So just keep that in the back of your head if that bugs you. Don't get it if it does. Hitman titles are also on sale. These are also in my top 10 favorite Stadia games. Don't miss out on one of the most fun games on the platform, guys, and they come in so cheap. I'm also going to recommend the Metro series if you guys don't have it via Stadia Pro. They're also coming in with the biggest discounts that I've ever seen across the board. And finally, I'm going to recommend Watch Dogs Legion. I've actually played 95% of the story on Stadia. I almost beat it. I really need to get back to it. It's a bit of an underrated game. Love the hacking and the gadgets and the Pokemon style recruitment of people. The game's at $14.99, and you'll get at least 30 good hours out of this game. So guys, Logitech's newest device has been unveiled, and boy, this thing does not look so good so far. Some of the specs are it's got a 1080p screen, 60 Hz LCD LCD screen. It's about 7 inches. It does have a touch screen. It's got about 12 hours of battery life. They're claiming that it's very lightweight, which according to the Amazon listing, it says it's about 1 pound. So I'm definitely going to say this thing will be very light. Now, it is running on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G, which is a mobile processor that dropped all the way back in 2019. So yeah, so if you guys have a modern phone past those years, past 2019 from the current years right now, more than likely you have something that's way more powerful, way more powerful. But if you don't, well, there is a case here to buy this. It does have a gyroscope, I never know how to say that, which is cool. And the device itself looks pretty nice overall. You have 2 thumbsticks on the left and right. You have the D-pad, you have the shoulder buttons. I mean, it looks good. And I stole this picture from Paris on Twitter, comparing another dedicated gaming device that I'm sure a lot of you guys know about in the Steam Deck, and I wanted to go ahead and show this for the size comparisons. The 7 inches really looks solid, and yeah, that's what she said. The price is coming in for the pre-order of $300, but after launch the price jumps to $350, guys, and this is exactly where they lost me on this device. The price is really up there compared to alternative devices for gaming. At the moment, you can reserve the cheapest Steam Deck price at $399. Remember, this thing's going to be $350 after launch. So this is just $50 more, and you can get a more powerful dedicated gaming device that you can also cloud game in. I mean, I own a Steam Deck, and spoilers, guys, this piece of tech is absolutely amazing. I've been gaming on it like crazy with both my Steam library and cloud services. Yes, I know Valve is probably selling these at a loss. They're making it up in the software and the Steam sales, but that doesn't change the fact that it's only $50 more and you can do way more with it. Now, alternatively, you can also buy a Nintendo Switch at $300, and guys, and there's no bigger hater of Nintendo's game library than me. Or really, guys, the best suggestion might be take that $350, go buy a Pixel 6a phone for just $50 more and attach a less than $10 phone clip to it. Truth is, when I heard about a dedicated cloud gaming device, guys, I got super excited. There's absolutely a market for this, but it had to be much cheaper than even the most basic phone, and it needed to have some updated specs. Things like 120 FPS, higher resolutions would have been awesome. An OLED screen would have been nice, not necessarily needed, but that would have been cool. The ability to link up this phone with a phone carrier and get some 5G. As it stands, this is only a Wi-Fi only device. So for me, there's a lot of question marks here on what's happening, and honestly, I don't see how I can recommend this device at this price point. If this was like $150 right now, I think I'd be like, all right, let's go. But as it stands, I'm just not feeling it. I've been calling on Google to make a dedicated device since the late 2019, since Stadia's launch, because there's absolutely a market for this. And really, that's honestly the most other baffling thing. This doesn't seem to be marketed much to Stadia gamers, though Stadia will be playable on this device during launch, but the big push seems to be for Xbox Cloud Gaming and GeForce Now. And as far as I'm seeing towards the marketing right now, heck, even big Phil Spencer himself is sponsoring this, and the bigwigs over at Xbox. So it's almost looking like this is being marketed mostly to xCloud users. The last thing, guys, I want to say is, according to a question asked on the Amazon page, this thing can be docked and playable on TV, so that's really good news. Remote play will also be available with this thing as well, with Steam Link and the Xbox app. But my thoughts are, I'm just not really feeling it. But I'm not writing it off just yet either, guys. Hold on, just in case you're wanting to get mad at me and write in the comments, this guy's an idiot. Let me get my hands on this, see if I can make a case for it, and if there's just enough reason here to justify for a certain set of gamers, because it's possible there is. And no matter what, I'm pretty sure that I can find a price point that if it ever drops to, I see this device being really awesome. As I said, it looks really clean, pretty large screen, and it looks like a very viable way to play and enjoy cloud gaming, more so than you would ever with a phone and a clip or even a gamepad attached to a phone. I've been on record, I actually don't like a lot, if not the majority, of the mobile gaming pads out there. I've tried almost all of them. None of them have truly won me over. My favorite's actually the Backbone one, and I can pick apart that thing left and right and tell you what I don't like about that either. So ultimately, we'll see what this does. We'll see if it's worth it. And guys, let me know what you guys think below. So far for me, the price point is a bit of a bust, but I'm gonna wait and see mode right now. We'll see how this thing performs and how it looks. And as always, guys, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.